Hello and welcome to day 6 of week 1 of Introduction to Meditation. It's wonderful to have you here. So, I'd like to start with a slightly different exercise, similar, but it's just very slightly different. And just invite you to take your seat wherever you're doing this, trying to be comfortable but alert. And I invite you to close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in, and let it out. And once again, take a nice deep breath in, but hold it at the top, and then let it out nice and slowly as you can. Just releasing the tension in your body. And then allow your breathing to return to normal. And then as you're breathing, just counting very simply, just notice how you count, how many you count as you breathe in. So it might be as you breathe in 1, 2, 3, and then breathe out 1, 2, 3. Then on the next one, breathing in the same 1, 2, 3, and then out 1, 2, 3. And then see if your breathing just settles and slows down on its own a little bit. So that if you keep the same pace, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and out 2, 3, 4. Just counting on the in-breath and then counting on the out-breath. You're not trying to change how you're breathing. You're allowing your body to breathe naturally. Just noticing what its own rhythm is. And as you're counting, just see if you can press each of your fingers into your thumb just very lightly. So on the 1 it might be for the index finger, 2 for the middle finger, 3 the third finger, and 4th your little finger. If you only make it to 3, just go to your ring finger. But whatever the count is, just very slightly, just touch each of your fingers with your thumb with each number. So you have your breathing, you have your counting, and you have your fingers. It might be 1, 2, 3, 4 on the in-breath, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the out-breath. And don't try and force your breathing to make it 4. Just allow your breathing to be what it is. And then just combine the counting with your fingers. And if your mind is racing right now, wondering, what are we doing? Just notice that. you're finding it difficult to coordinate the fingers and the counting, just let one of them go. Now, in addition to paying attention to the breathing, if you're still doing the finger exercise, just see if you can really pay attention to the sensation of the skin and your fingers and your thumb as they come together. It's a sensation you're extremely familiar with, but really notice how you can feel the skin pushing, what that sensation feels like when they connect, and what the sensation feels like when they release. Just keep that going for a couple of minutes. And it might be that you're breathing in to a count of 4, but you're breathing out much more slowly. Just notice what your body's doing. And if that's happening, allow that to happen. And maybe you go to 4, and then you keep going to 6, 7, 8. Wherever it goes with each breath. Just noticing the duration by the counting. I invite you to take a deep breath in and let it out. When you're ready, open your eyes, connect yourself back into the room. So, this meditation thing, there's quite a lot going on often, more than what it appears to be, and on the surface it is true. All we're doing is placing our attention somewhere and then noticing when it gets distracted and noticing our mind, seeing what it does and how it does it, and then bringing our attention back over and over and over. But one of the things that's going on here, and we're going to talk more about that in the class tomorrow night, in week 2's class, one of the things that's going on is we're really placing our attention on something that's going on right now. This, what they call sort of present moment. So we're placing our attention in the present moment. And that can be anything that's going on right now. It can be your breathing. Your breathing's pretty good because it's usually going on right now, this breath. It can be the physical sensations of your body. It can be sound. It can be watching a candle flame. Or sitting outside and feeling the wind. We place our attention on something that's happening in the present moment, as opposed to having our attention go wherever the mind wants to take it in that moment. And so we're practicing and training in this act of sort of becoming more familiar with being aware only of the present moment. And we're also training ourselves in noticing our mind. And some meditation exercises, like that last one, emphasize more on helping you become more familiar with the present moment, and perhaps slightly less on watching the mind and watching how it gets distracted and becoming more familiar with your mind. So that exercise is almost like it's called a technique. Some people get annoyed with me when I call it a trick, but it's sort of a technique, or perhaps a trick, for getting your mind more focused on the present moment. So we're giving it more hooks with both the sensation of the breathing, but also the counting, and also the sensation of the fingers. And with enough things to grab the mind's attention, the mind is slightly less likely to wander. Not that there's anything wrong with it wandering, but in that particular exercise, it's more emphasis on becoming more familiar with what it feels like of having your mind staying in the present moment. It's also a very relaxing exercise, just placing your attention in that, on your breathing, becoming aware of your breathing. Your breathing tends to slow down a bit with the counting, with the very close awareness of the duration of your breathing as a result of your counting and using the fingers. Okay, time for another meditation. So we'll just do the traditional one, where this time, again, we'll be placing our attention in the present moment, but then watching where the mind goes next. So becoming more familiar in this one with where the mind goes and that it goes, and also training ourselves in that refocusing of our attention. So, sitting wherever you're sitting comfortable but alert. I invite you to take a deep breath in and let it out. And just allow your breathing to settle. Allow it to return to normal. And just notice where your mind is right now. If you're thinking about what I just talked about, thinking about the news, things you have to do, your day that's upcoming. Don't try and stop that, but just notice where it is. Notice what's on your mind right now. Acknowledge what pressures are on your mind, where your mind wants to take you. And then just give yourself permission to see if you can let that go just for a few minutes. And place your attention on the next breath. Really noticing the sensation of the air as it comes in and goes out. Or maybe noticing your body moving as it breathes. But allowing your attention to really focus fully and closely on this next breath. And when you notice your mind is taking you somewhere, that's fine. That's a really important moment when you notice that's happened. And then see if you can let that thought go. Go back to the next breath and start again. We'll do this for about 5 minutes. Just a gentle reminder that it doesn't matter how many times your mind wanders, how hard it is for you to stay focused, or even if a thought has grabbed you for several minutes. It doesn't matter. It is what it is, and part of this exercise is about accepting what is, at least in the short term. So no judgment of yourself, if you can, about the distraction or your agitated mind. Just keep trying to do the exercise. Place your attention on this next breath. When you notice the mind's gone somewhere, just bring it back to the next breath. I invite you to take a deep breath in and let it out. And just to expand the area of your attention, to notice your whole body, from the top of your head, down your torso, your arms, your legs, all the way to the tips of your toes. Noticing the big, obvious sensations, but also noticing the myriad of small sensations. Where your skin is touching clothing, where you can feel that it's not. Subtle sensations of your fingertips and your feet. Noticing your breathing, your body moving ever so slightly. And take a deep breath in and let it out. And when you're ready, open your eyes and connect yourself back into the room. It's another day down. I'm tremendously impressed and humbled and honored that you're still here, joining in. This really makes a powerful difference over time, and sometimes it can feel as though nothing's happening. But it's spring, and for many, many months now, the trees and the plants have looked like they were doing nothing. And then suddenly, they're all coming into bloom. And some meditation benefits happen immediately. You can immediately feel a bit better. Some take a little bit of time to germinate, and then suddenly you'll see them popping out like flowers on the trees. So just encourage you to keep going and congratulate you on making it through day 6. Hope to see you here, same time, same place tomorrow. Thank you.